have arrived at this beautiful farm stay. That's pretty incredible. Look here. Even this happened.
I just thought this might be a good time to talk about Megan and Neil happy.
So happy, so lucky. This place is incredible. It's like so lucky to get to be here for a really extended period of time and really experience this. It's wonderful.
To me, it feels like original cabin, but more livable, longer term, and like on steroids. No offense to original cabin, love it, but this place is so cozy and beautiful. It's just what we like. Still a little bit rustic, but not nearly as rustic as OG cabin.
Yeah.
And there's books and things that are in line, just like every crumb we follow. We find these books. I mean, I guess it makes sense that somebody who lives out here is interested in Thoreau, and gardening and food forests and things, but we find little interesting lines that go through everywhere we are that makes us feel like, of course we're here. This just makes sense. And that's a really neat feeling.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. And animals. Sweet, sweet dog. Sweet, sweet cat. Beautiful land. Beautiful trees. It's
So
wonderful.
Here's our beautiful door. It's a nice outside space. This cool guy reading some Thoreau. Not trying too hard at all.
It was incredible to find this off-grid house and pet sit.
Plant to take care of. Here's our little shrine that comes with a rose quartz bedroom.
Our dream of a self-sustainable life has always been hinged on being as off-grid as possible.
Bathroom. That's just a bucket, it's not really real, but we have this nice.
Back in Canada, we were only looking at properties with wells, and we were paying close attention to passive energy builds, as well as carefully planning for room in our budget to upgrade power systems to off-grid. Property dependent, we were exploring options like solar panels and mini turbines.
Since we've been in Portugal, where renewable energy is prevalent, we have lived with and discovered components of off-grid systems. Our favorite so far being a solar water heater, which we found to be very efficient, at least if you live somewhere sunny. But as yet, all of these plans were theoretical, as we had no actual experience living fully off-grid. There wasn't Wi-Fi at the Quinta either. We were a bit concerned about this, but added data to our local phone plans to gauge our usage.
If given the opportunity, it's best to try before you buy. Here we were with the opportunity to do just that, and over 3 months, 3 of the wettest, coldest months of the year. We were satisfied that if we still liked the idea of off-grid living after this experience, we were on the right page.
In fact, we were so excited about the situation that we accepted it without really knowing anything about our accommodation. If there was hot water, heating, a bedroom, a kitchen.
Not having a 4x4 vehicle, one thing we had asked about was whether the property was accessible via a normal car. The answer was yes. When we arrived, we were a little uneased at the rustic nature of the road. Our car made it to the house, and we were greeted by an extraordinary view.
The owners were lovely and showed us around, introducing us to all of their animals and showing us the lay of the land. Our house was an open concept granite structure with a pitched wooden roof. Apparently, many people used to live upstairs, while the livestock lived downstairs. This house was finished so beautifully. We couldn't believe we'd get to spend the whole winter in it.
Yogi, the guard dog / wise sage, was not sure about us right away. Of course, we loved him instantly. Ranger the cat, a cross-eyed dog-cat hybrid, was hilarious, fun to play with, and watch bound around the yard like a wild wallaby.
There was also Ma, a slightly haggard-looking sheep, a tricky giant goat named Onda, and Ma's daughter and resident beauty queen, Lua. We were cautious at first of these three. They were big and appeared fond of headbutting. There was also a hyper-vigilant resident cat named Rocky. He was a shy stray that was named after his rock-like appearance.
The energy systems were split into two factions, hydro and solar, connected to a 24-volt lead-acid battery bank. The battery bank had to be maintained by adding distilled water when the level was low due to evaporation. We started out monitoring the batteries weekly, then tapered down to bi-weekly. This system is dated. Now you can get lithium batteries, which are less maintenance and more affordable than ever, thanks to so much progress in this technology field.
Our first job was to monitor the readings of the voltage. We would check them in the morning and in the evening daily, observing the available voltage, the current usage, and the historic usage. Being new to the system, the latter was a useful reading to gauge our energy use. We also would check the water tank every day to assure the water was running freely and to clear any debris that may have gathered. And to visit the frogs. The Boiler Chronicles.
Our house did have hot water, but it wasn't working. The hot water was supplied to the house via an on-demand butane water heater. We went to work with trying to repair it.
Oh. With only boiled hot water. Will we survive it?
There was heat too. A small wood stove that had a radiant heating system from the back of the box to and throughout under the downstairs floor.
After a few days of fires, the thermal mass kept the temperature inside significantly above the outside temperature. One of the owners stayed with us for a couple of weeks to make sure that we had the hang of life at the Quinta, and to gently transition the animals into our care. Everything was set up so user-friendly that we didn't even need this long, but we enjoyed our time and made a friend in this calm and interesting human. Another nice perk of this transition was that we felt free to explore the area without feeling like we were neglecting anyone. Happiness. Nice fountain. Also, November
Sunbed.
6th.
Could it be?
Good choices. Dear Diary, today I got bit by a tick.
And I've got a case of the goat fungus. I need you to remove this cat. I need you to treat it like it's a bomb about to explode. And any sudden movement could render me cat clawed.
She loves you. You can't. Oh.
I need you to remove it.
I won't do it. Waking up to the vistas at the Quinta was incredible. Portugal's climate, weather, and skies are magnificent, but with this view, every morning was like a gift. Even going to the outhouse with its incredible view was a treat. We both couldn't believe how much we enjoyed the outhouse, from the lovely stroll in nature to the privacy and the view. I wouldn't have thought that I'd be happy with an outhouse as my main toilet, but now I think I'd be just fine with it.
When the first big rains came, we were introduced to fire salamanders, abstractly painted in yellow and black.
Hello, friend.
They would surface from their hiding places when it was particularly wet, and we enjoyed interacting with them when they would visit.
Even though they have a peculiar defense mechanism in that their skin is toxic, we learned that fire salamanders are endangered for disturbed habitat. This colony was alive and thriving. Walking very carefully by light at nighttime, there were so many that we both accidentally stepped on one over the winter, producing a high-pitched squeal.
We felt so terrible and were sure we had killed them. But in the morning, on both occasions, they were not where they had been injured. We did more research and found out that these incredible creatures can regenerate. We had heard about various animals that can regrow a tail or a limb, but these guys can even regenerate damaged organs.
After a very stormy night, I checked the power and the voltage was lower than usual. I went to check the holding tank and it was empty. Some debris had blocked the channel into the tank. I cleared it and went to get Neil for the adventure. So we have a little bit less voltage than usual, and we're going down to check it out. First I showed him the tank, which he was very disappointed to have missed being fully empty. It had already filled in the time it took to go get him. Hi ladies. Hi. Hi.
How's the big story?
Next we headed down to the hydro turbine to reset it. Neil turned off the water flow in, then the water flow out via the valve handles.
Next, we headed back up to the holding tank, which was near full, and waited for it to continue filling. Once it had filled, we went back down to the turbine and opened the valve, allowing water flow in, followed by opening the valve that allowed water flow out. The turbine sped up and slowed, regulating itself, and in a couple of minutes it had found its ideal pace. Then we went back to the power station and we were back at regular power. How easy!
We were enjoying getting to know our friends better. We discovered Ranger's affinity for found water over the fresh water in her bowl. The all-new patented Castagna launcher, still in beta testing. I was enjoying my position as games master, building a cat hotel and subsequent toys and games for her. Yogi was really warming up to us, and I so enjoyed our morning routine together. I would get up and check the electricity, then go find Yogi and bring him in to start his morning routine. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, honey. It's okay. After, he'd often go back to the house to relax, while I started to gravitate to the yoga studio for morning yoga and meditation, the latter of which was new to me, but just sort of happened naturally. Then I'd come back to the house and make a coffee for Neil and I. We'd drink it in bed before starting our day.
As we have mentioned, we were warned about the rain. A lot. Everything being relative, we were sure that 20 plus years in Vancouver, BC would have prepared us for the worst Portugal could do. And we were right.
Nice office today.
The weather was so uncharacteristically warm and sunny that we would often enjoy doing our office work outdoors.
I know. We probably shouldn't be up there. Should we go outside, Rangy? We couldn't believe how mild and beautiful it was. We were spending most of our time outside, only making fires at 5 p.m. earliest, often not until later, and never in the day. It was chilly inside, but we were out in the sun for the entire day. We were feeling a little smug in the face of those who had whimsically coined this area the piss pot of Portugal. What are you doing?
Our new pseudo family was taking great care of us. Yogi would always help us with grazing Ma, Anda, and Lua, and Rangy would make sure we didn't work too hard on our computer.
Intruder!
Get.
Don't let her run you off.
Yogi would take us for a walk every afternoon, and we'd all relax by the fire in the evening.
Up to?
I just thought I'd catch somebody doing some sort of work. Come on, let's go. Having access to a greenhouse for 3 months, we decided to try our hand at germinating some seeds. So we got some cherry tomatoes, arugula, and watercress. It wasn't the ideal time of year for this, but we wanted to give it a try anyway.
The last time we had access to a garden and greenhouse was at B&P's in Canada. We didn't know at the time how long we'd be there for, so we didn't try planting anything for ourselves. We did help with the garden, and Brian taught us how to plant rose.
you need to be saved. Hey. You want help? Raising the sheep and goat turned out to be one of our favorite activities. Yogi would always come with us, and we'd all just bask in the sunlight and calm stillness of the afternoon, periodically snuggling whichever of them came to cuddle. The sheep were particularly in love with us, but we can't take all the credit. We were let in on their secret spot. It turns out, if you rub a sheep on its chest bone, it lulls that sheep into a trance.
Oh, let's get you a nice little spot here.
Oh, you like that? Is that your tranquilize spot? Is that nice? Oh, is that nice, Lua? Oh, sweet girl. That's a tick.
We adored Lua and Ma. We adored Anda too, but she was just less cuddly and slightly unpredictable, and we didn't like how she bullied Ma. We remedied that problem by sneaking Ma extra snacks.
Neil and I often hypothesize about how animals to care for could be seen as a burden to some. Especially some of the animals at various houses we've sat. But for us, they make the experience. We are grateful to be blessed with animal congeniality.
The seeds we planted started to sprout. The road we were concerned would damage our car suddenly got paved. And we both were spontaneously given unlimited data by our cellular carrier.
But the surprises weren't all equally blissful.
Run really quickly.
Oh, jeez. He's gone again. What's his name? Bryson?
Death Widow.
Wants to stay here with you forever.